to sustain the growth. Okay, you may be looking to sustain the growth that you're having right now. Some of you may be looking to create the growth that you desire. But regardless of where you are, whether it's sustaining or creating, there's only two things you can control. You can't control your downline. You can't control your upline. I learned a long time ago, you can't control your leaders. You can't control who comes. You can't control who goes. I've had millions of people over the last 18 years that I've been in this profession. I've had millions of people come and go. As a matter of fact, I remember saying to myself, I can't wait for 1 million people to quit on me. Well, it's happened, right? And I think it's happened several times over, but you can't control that. You can only control your attitude and your activity. So the question tonight is, what's the attitude of a leader? What's the attitude of a leader? AOL, right? You guys remember AOL? The attitude of a leader. What is the attitude of a leader? What is the attitude that I should have right now? If I'm going to create growth, all right, if I'm going to create growth, what's the attitude that I need to have? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You got to have the attitude of gratitude. Number one is it's got to be gratitude. Number two, you've got to be resilient. You've got to have the attitude of being resilient. Okay, you got to have the attitude of being resilient. You got to have the attitude of being optimistic. All right, you got to have the attitude of being optimistic. You got to have the attitude of a winner. Okay, you got to have the attitude of a winner, and you have to have a tremendous amount of tenacity, and then you must have hope. If you paid attention, that spells out growth. All right, you got to have a tremendous amount of gratitude. You got to have a tremendous amount of resilience right now. All right, gratitude for what's happening. Knowing that what's happening today, whether it feels good today or doesn't feel good today, it is setting me up. I was watching Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. I love winners. And he told a story about this Chinese farmer. I don't know if you've heard the story before, but he told the story. He's got this documentary out right now, Man in the Arena. And he told the story of this Chinese farmer. And the story goes, one day, the Chinese farmer, he had a horse. He had a horse that everybody loved. And one day that horse ran away. And all the villagers came over to him and said, man, I'm so sorry that you lost your favorite horse. We all love the horse too. And he ran away. And Dwayne, I can't watch that documentary. Dwayne, you must be from Atlanta. Are you from Atlanta? Where are you from? I know you're not from New York, and I know you're not from Philly, because you guys beat Tom Brady. So you either got to be from Atlanta, you got to be from Seattle. He done beat so many people, I can't remember. But anyway, so all the villagers came over and said, man, it's terrible that you lost your horse. And the Chinese farmer said, maybe. All right, he said maybe. And what happened a few months later, that same horse came back to the farmer, but he brought 10 other wild horses. So all the villagers came back and get it, said, man, you're so blessed. That horse that you thought you lost, it came back and it brought 10 other horses. And the farmer says, maybe. And then a few weeks goes by, and, few months go by, a few years go by. Farmer did have a son. And one day his son is playing one of these wild horses and he injures himself, breaks his leg. And all the villagers come over again and say, oh man, it's so terrible. It's so sad. It's so sad that, the crypto market is really down right now. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, the foreign exchange market. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, this leader left. And he said, maybe. To his son breaking his leg, he said, maybe. Few weeks later, few months later, there was a war that broke out. So now they're coming to the village to get young men to come and fight in this war. And his son can't fight in the war. So his son doesn't get to go to war. It saves his life. And all the villagers come back, say, oh my God, man, it's incredible. Your son didn't have to go to war because he broke his leg. And he said, maybe. Right? And the moral of the story is, you don't know whether what is happening, whether it's good or bad, you don't know what it's setting up for you in the future. And that's how you got to look at life right now. You know, as I continue to grow and as I continue to mature in life, because some people say maturity doesn't come with age. But I think maturity, part of maturity is age. And I've seen many challenges, and I will continue to see many challenges in my life. But I have the maybe mentality. I have the mentality that, you know what? Even though it doesn't feel good right now, but what is it that I'm supposed to learn in this moment? Because I've got to remain optimistic, right? I've got to remain resilient. If I'm going to grow, I've got to take on the stance of being grateful and say, you know what? This doesn't really feel good right now, but what is this setting me up for? What is this creating for me that I don't even know? How is God putting things together for me that if this didn't happen, I wouldn't make this decision? If that didn't happen, I wouldn't make this decision. You know, there was a time where I had a falling out with a mentor of mine. I absolutely just adored him. I just because he had done so much for me. He was an example of what was possible. I mean, listen, China, I used to iron this man's clothes. People talk about they want a mentor. I'm like, no, you don't want a mentor. You don't know what it takes to be a mentee. I mean, we literally were traveling to other cities to do meetings, and before the meeting would start, before I would go down to set things up, hey man, let me get your shirt, let me get your suit. I'll go and iron it and then bring it back to him. And we had a falling out, and it ate me up. But you know what's so interesting? In those moments, it felt so bad. But if I didn't have that falling out, I wouldn't be who it is that I am today. And I'm sure you could look at your life where there were certain things that took place that, man, it just didn't feel good. It felt terrible. You were so down about it. And then you look up 5 years, maybe a year later, maybe 5 years later, maybe 10 years later, and you're like, wow, man, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where it is that I am today. And regardless of what's taking place, ladies and gentlemen, as a leader, the only thing you can control is your attitude and your activity. So as I was looking at what was going on, I said, okay, no, my attitude's got to be, okay, it's got to be one of gratitude. It's got to be one of being resilient. I've got to be optimistic. I've got to be a winner. I'm a winner. You know what I mean? I've got to show some tenacity right now. I've got to give hope. I've got to have some hope. And I've got to double. I've got to triple my activity. I've got to intensify my activity. So what are the things that I need to do to build the business? How can I intensify that? So if it's opportunity calls, how can I do more of that? If it's presentations, how can I do more of that? If it's prospecting, how can I do more of that? My attitude, the attitude that I have to have is one of excitement, one of enthusiasm. You see, if things have to be good for you to have a good attitude, you're really not a leader, you're a follower. Because someone had to create the environment for it to be good for you to feel good. But see, leaders are the ones that create the environment where other people come and feel good. See, you've got to make that decision that you're going to be that leader. You got to make that decision that you're going to be that woman, that you're going to be that guy that people look to and say, you know what, I can follow her lead. I can follow his lead. Why? Because he's got the right attitude. And he's putting forth the activity. She's putting forth the activity. People are going to follow not what you say, but what you do. They're going to follow not what you say, but what you do. Leadership is so vital. Leadership is so critical to your success. You've got to have the attitude of a leader. You've got to have the activity of a leader. 5 characteristics that I look for in a leader. Number 1, do they have great character? Number 2, do they have great integrity? Can I count on their word? Number 3, do they have a positive mental attitude? Number 4, do they have an incredible work ethic? An insatiable work ethic? And you got to ask yourself that. How is your work ethic? If we had to grade your work ethic, matter of fact, I want you to grade yourself right now on a scale of 1 to 10, your work ethic. Put the grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, it's in the toilet. 10, it's at its peak right now. I want you to put in the chat. Don't be afraid. Put in the chat. What would you say your work ethic is right now? Right? And you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. You say, you know what? Right now, maybe it's a 1. How can I get it to a 3? If it's a 5, how can I get it to a 7? You're not going to go from 1 to 10, right? You may go from 7 to 10, but 5, how can I get it to a 7? How can I get it to 8? right? And then from there, how can I get it to a 10? Because ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to succeed in life, your work ethic is gonna have to be at a 10. If you're not tired at the end of the day, you haven't worked the business. You ready for that? If you're not tired, if you're not exhausted at the end of the day, you haven't worked your business at the peak. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a secret. You don't have to do it for all of your life, but you have to do it for a portion of your life to have the life that you want to have. You have to do it for a portion of your life, right? Do you have the work ethic? And then last but not least, do you have a pleasing personality? Do you know how to communicate with people the right way? Do you treat people good? Do you look to serve people? You know, I did a live with John C. Maxwell. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I just love John. I had a conversation with him this morning, and his temperament. He's able to communicate. Hey, David, how can I serve you? He's always, in the conversation that we had, it was multiple times where he was asking me, how can I serve? So you got to ask yourself, how did you serve people today? How did you add value today? What were some of the things that you could have done to add value to someone's life? You know, you inviting someone to listen to this call, guess what? You added value to their lives because they're listening to the same information that you're listening to right now. So even though you're not the one doing the call, you've added value to their lives. When I tell a person, hey, come with me to the Bob Proctor event, I'm adding value to their lives. I'm not the one doing the training. Bob's doing the training. Hey, read this book. I'm adding value to their lives. Do you encourage other people to add value to their lives? Okay. You know, listen, life is a beautiful thing that is filled. I consider life to be a bed of roses. Wouldn't you agree? It's a bed of roses. It's incredible. But you know, roses come with thorns. So you're constantly plucking the thorns, right? And I'll tell you this, loving people and watching people grow and having an opportunity to serve people, I don't know if you're going to have a greater joy than that. And I'm going out on a limb and speaking for you, right? That I don't know if you're going to have a greater joy. And that's why your success is so needed. Because here's the deal. People are not going to listen to China if she wasn't successful. They're not going to listen to Randy and Wanda Webb if they were not successful. They wouldn't listen to Jewel Tanker if she wasn't successful. They wouldn't listen to the chairmen that are on this call if they weren't successful. So your success, ladies and gentlemen, your success gives you an opportunity to be heard. To be heard, to now make a difference in the lives of someone else. That's why you succeed, ladies and gentlemen. That is why you succeed. I see my good friend Latrice on here. You know, if she was not people wouldn't listen. If she wasn't successful, people wouldn't listen. So you must become rich. You must become successful. It is a must. It is a birthright, but it's also a must for you to do it. Why? Because there's someone out there that needs your story. I may not be able to impact them the way you can impact them, because you may look like them. Maybe you're a single mother on here. Maybe you're in your 50s. Maybe you're in your 20s. You're going to be able to impact their lives a little bit different from how I can impact their lives. And that's why you winning is so critical. And for you to win, you got to control those two things, regardless of what's going on in the marketplace, regardless of what's going on in your business, regardless of who comes and goes. Guys, I've had Chairman 10s quit. I've had Chairman 25s quit. I've had Chairman 50s quit. I've had Chairman 100s quit. I've had Chairman 250s quit. It's okay. You know what I say? Oh, David, how do you feel about that? Maybe. All right, maybe. Because how can I handle $1 billion if I can't handle a Chairman 250 quitting? See, he'll never put anything on you that you can't bear. So I need to be able to bear this so he can give me more. So I can bear more. Does that make sense? The challenges that you're gonna have. I can promise you this. Jewel has faced more challenges in her life than probably 100% of the people that's on this call. But that's why she's where she's at. Because she's been able to bear those things. She's been able to build character. Character is not built in the good times, ladies and gentlemen. That's not when character is built. Character is built in the tough times. That's when character is built. Character is built in the trying times. I love history. I love history. I do. I love studying great leaders from the past to see how they handle challenges. Right? And if you're going to grow, if you're going to become successful in this business and in life, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to relish the adversity. You've got to relish the challenges that comes with building this business. You got to give it your all, ladies and gentlemen. You got to give it your all. You got to ask yourself, am I giving it my all right now? Am I really giving it my all? Am I really, really out there giving it my all? Or am I making excuses in my mind as to why it's not working? If you want to find a reason why it's not working, trust me, there are many reasons why you can find it where it's not working. But I promise you this, you only need one reason. I only needed one reason for me to know it was going to work. When I saw 444, 12 customers, $600, I didn't need to see anything else. I didn't need to see the rest of the compensation plan. All I saw was 444. That one reason is why I said yes. Can people still go platinum 600 today? Yes. Can people still go platinum 1,000 today? Yes. And if people can still go P600, and if people can still go platinum 1,000, then people can go GM10. But are you focused? Are you focused on having the right attitude? Are you focused on having the right activity? Prospecting 5 to 10 people a day. Showing the plan 5-6 nights a week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just common sense. If you have a job, how many days a week do you have to work? Put it in the chat. How many days a week do you have to work? If you have a job, how many days a week do you have to work? 5, 7? Help me out, guys. 5. I see 3. I don't know what kind of job you got. 5, 6, 6, 5, 6. The main number I see is 5 or 6. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if your job requires you to go to work 5, 6 nights a week, why do you think your business will require anything less? Why do you think your job requires you to come in 5, 6 nights, 5, 6 days a week? But your business, the one that's going to set you free, the one that's going to put you in the house that you want to be in, the one that's going to allow you to drive the car you want to drive, the one that's going to give you, have your kids taking a vacation you want them to take, the one that's going to give you the jet, the one that's going to give you the things that you want to give that one time a week. Now I'm going to show the plan once a week. And yeah, I should be able to make it. I should be able to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Well, I'm going to do twice a week. No. It's 5, 6 nights a week, ladies and gentlemen. I wish there was another way. I wish there was an opportunity out there. Actually, I don't. I don't wish there was an opportunity out there because then it would be a scam. There is none. Hey, Elon Musk, you think Elon Musk was working 1 day a week? You think Jeff Bezos was working 1 day a week? You think these multi-billionaires out there, you think they were working their companies 1 day a week? Try 24/7. Try 24/7. That's what they were doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you tell me, David, I want the lifestyle. You tell Jewel, man, I want to be a chairman. I want to live in this home, and I want to drive this car, and I want to be able to give. You know, I want to be able to give to different churches and ministries and people. Well, we got to match that up with your activity. We got to match that up with your activity. Your activity's got to match up what you're saying you want. And if it doesn't match, guess what? You got to give us the permission to tell you, say, hey, listen, I don't know if you're really putting in the work right now. I hear you saying that that's what you want, but I don't know. I don't know. Where's your calendar? Can I see your calendar? How many meetings do you have set up? You know, set the meeting up before the person shows up for the meeting. That's what I did. I was setting meetings up before someone would be at the meeting. I set it up. I said, I'm going to do a meeting on Friday. Is there anybody going to be at the meeting? I don't know, but I'm doing the meeting. And guess what? Because I kept setting up those meetings, because I kept setting up my calendars, God started to put those people in my path that allowed me to do those meetings. Did everybody say yes? No. You know, my success today came from a meeting with one lady that said no to me. That one no has led to tens of millions of dollars. That one no. I'll never forget her name, Demetria Smith. I met her at Starbucks. I met her at Starbucks in 2007. I'll never forget it. 15 years ago. Gave her the presentation. She said, nah, not interested. I said, who do you know? She introduced me to somebody. They introduced me to somebody. And that was 2007. I was 24. Yeah, I was 24 years old. By 27, I made my first million. All from a meeting where someone said no. And then I had, some of my biggest organizations today came from a meeting where no one showed up. Drove 45 minutes to go do a presentation that I set up. Drove 45 minutes there. No one was there. No guests. I said, who do you know? She called a gentleman that somehow led to Gary McSween, somehow led to Zane Khan, somehow led to Jeff and Angela Cruikshank, somehow led to Mike and Marlene Stotts. Are you putting the work in? Are you really putting forth the activity? You gotta answer that. You gotta answer that. Okay. And you say, well, Dave, what are you doing on this call? I'm hoping that I stir something up inside of you that says, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it. We got West Palm Beach coming up. For this next 60 days, for once in my life, I'm gonna lay it on the line. Maybe for the first time in my life, I'm gonna lay it all on the line, and I'm gonna go harder than I've ever gone before, and I'm gonna get as many people as possible to this event, and I'm gonna let the event do what it does, and watch what happens. I can look back at periods in my life where I said, I'm gonna give it my all, David. And it paid off. And listen, guys, if it can work for me, it can work for you. I'm definitely not the smartest person on this call. Not the most gifted person on this call. But one thing I know is I believe God, I believe in myself, and I believe in others. And I've learned that if I believe in those three things, then I can win. And you can too. Okay? You can too. All right? You can too. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at West Palm Beach. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We're going to have anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 people. I believe we can get 7,000 people there. I really do. And Jewel, can't wait to see you on stage. I got something planned. I'm gonna talk to the women. I want something we did in Nigeria. I want to see if we can do it here in the United States as well. I think the chair. I don't think the women should be called chairman. I think they should be called chair queens. And we need to have a coronation of some of the new chairmen and put a crown on their heads and have a completely separate ceremony just for the women that cross over and become chairmen and become chair queens in this company. So it was amazing in Nigeria. I think it would be absolutely amazing. We did it here. So I'll definitely, I want you to come in and obviously talk to corporate about it and how we can really set it up and make it really, really special. So Joel, thank you for having me on the call, and I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Billionaire Brother. I mean, he just dropped so many amazing things. I love the sobriety of it. I love the focus of it, because the reality is the scripture says that he is absolutely no respecter of person. There's another scripture that says the hand of the diligent shall bear rule. So if you are diligent and about your business, the reason that Daniel was called to be second in command, because the Bible talked about that he understood the language of the times. with I Am an Academy, that's what we have. We are learning the language of the times. We are forerunners in this. And so many good points, the resiliency, the gratitude, no matter what state you're in, you know, being optimistic, thinking like a winner. Dave, you know, you just dropped a lot of really amazing points. I know China, Randy, Wanda, all the rest of the chairman on here, Dwayne, really, really, really appreciate it. And guys, it's just time to go to work. Florida is just a couple weeks before us. And so it's time to go all in. There are times when I've gone all in my life and I got the results. David, I like what you said, that if you just do it, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life.
Right.
But if you would just understand that there is an open window, huge window, effectual window, set before us right now. And if we would just run that race and stay that course, no matter who comes or goes. Because when you said you had a chairman 250 leave your business, you're like, maybe. I mean, that thing right there, because you can't lose.
No.
Can't lose. And so I know we could go on, but this was really, really strong. I hope you guys took a lot of notes. I also love that you talked about how leaders have to create the environment. If you don't like the environment, you're not waiting for somebody else to come and create the environment. You create the environment. You set the tone. So a lot of amazing points. China, Randy, I know y'all want to jump in here real quick before we get ready to wrap the call, but this was really good and I really appreciate it because I know it is everything that we needed so that when we get to Florida, we've superseded all prior goals, all prior ranks. We have superseded because we put the work in. Randy and China.
This was so amazing. First of all, y'all show David some love in the chat. It was the tone for me, the clarity for me. I think that one of the things that I've been sharing, and I shared before you got on, David, is that there's a shift that's taking place. And regardless to what it looks like, regardless to what it seems like, I know it's a new year. I know it's a promotion going on, but it's deeper than that. And I'm really excited about where we are right now. I believe one of the things that you mentioned even last night about course correcting, I believe that we all had to go through everything that we went through just to get to this point here. And I thank God for his grace, because the truth is we're still right on time. And so I just thank you, because I believe that your tone, as well as the information, allowed the grounds of the ears of the listeners to be fertile enough to receive something. Maybe they heard it before, but it was something about tonight. It was something about the shift. It was something about where we are in time, that they was able to receive it where the seed was actually able to be planted. And I just want to say thank you guys. Show David some love in the chat. I'm excited to be working with you. I remember the first time we met in person, and we were in two different rivalry companies.
We weren't rivals, but the companies were.
Thank God. And I hadn't even learned that from the company. I thank God I just had enough sense. And I remember just being really excited to have an opportunity to work with you, because to me, and I don't care what nobody else think or how they feel, we have an all-star lineup over here. This is the best of the best in this company. And I feel with one IM, with one company, with the one mission, and forget all the teams, one company, we are absolutely, because God has always been at the head. He's always been the heartbeat of what we're doing. We've always acknowledged that, but now the unity of it is going to really be special, and I'm excited. So I want to say thank you for really serving from the front and hopping on a call today. It impacted the lives of every single listener. And I just appreciate you. And I'm excited about what the next 18 months is going to look like in every single person's career in this space. So thanks.
Thank you.
I don't really have much to say except to say thank you, David, as always, for always providing the major mentorship in this company. And everybody knows this story, but listen, you changed my life at the end of 2019, kept me in the game because I was ready to quit IM. And I'll tell you, just like anybody else, we all have the same frustration no matter what level we're at. And, we just latch on to mentorship. So I really have nothing to give here. You just dropped everything. I'll say, listen, I got a positive mental attitude. That was the big takeaway for me in a major way. Learning how to believe when times get tough. And like you said, character is built in the trenches. Character is built when things are not going good. Everybody, we could all be there and be happy if our paychecks are way up. But it's when those checks are down, when everything's down, that we keep building through and our character's built there. So I thank you for always pouring in, leading by example. So appreciate it. Let's rock.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, David, thank you again so much, brother. I know you guys enjoyed all of this. Thank you for, just setting aside this time. We don't take it for granted. And I know we were all blessed. I was definitely blessed. We were all blessed. So have an amazing night, guys. Let's get to work.
You too.
Let's go to work. All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.